Could you explain what as above, so below really means? That would require a great master to do that, I would say. Doesn't it imply that there is the same principle everywhere? Hmm. Yep, good question. Um, as above, so below. As you pointed out, there is good and bad. So we do live in this somewhat dualistic experience, most people. So you have to find those opposites, you have to find those dualities. The best duality, the best opposites that we can, I would say, compare to as above, so below, is in the external and internal reality, right? We have an external experience, all of the objects around us, the people, the life events, right? Who your personality, your ego, right? And then we have an internal experience that is a different experience from the external. And so as above, so below, just one example of that is that our external reality is a reflection of our internal reality. There's so many examples we can say of this. This also reflects archetypes and as above, so below. Throughout many of my videos, I always threw that saying out there because it really does. It's really relevant to a lot of things. Also, let's consider movies. Let's say, in a lot of superhero movies, we have a strong person depicted as, with armor and a sword and a shield. This is because it relates to this. Everyone has this very deep sense of wanting to finally awaken. And in order to finally awaken, we have to pick up our sword, put on our armor, and be our own hero, not out here in the world of vanities, but within ourselves to save ourselves. So that's a reflection of this as above, so below. This in this world of illusion, in physical life and movies and media, they're all reflections really of this truer reality, of this universal archetypal system of consciousness. Um, For example, people like to say, I want to find my soulmate. A soulmate is not something that necessarily exists. And as an actual person, we just have this real strong desire to be with a soulmate because we have this innate strong desire to be with our soul again, to develop our soul, to have union with our soul. But of course, because we're so attached to this material world, we apply unfairly to the other person, we apply that same desire to be with our soul with an external person, and that's wrong in a lot of ways and causes a lot of relationship issues because the soul is perfect. The soul knows everything. It is perfect in the biggest sense of the word perfect. If we apply that to a person, then we always expect our partner to be perfect, and we have to understand that being in a relationship is uh, is to help us find our soul, not to project that expectation on another person. So there's so many ways I can compare, as above, so below. It's really to talk more symbolically. Everything in the heavens is a reflection on the earth, or everything in the hells is a reflection on the earth. If you understand Kabbalah a little bit, and this is something I still need to talk about on the channel. Um, this relates to dimensions. Let me put a diagram on the screen. 1 minute. This is probably the best way to understand this as above, so below, but it requires a little bit of study. As you can see on this channel, on this picture, uh, we are in the third dimension there, right at the bottom. And everything, all those higher dimensions, all our thoughts, ideas, everything that we experience as us in our reality is determined by that above. So, as above in the higher dimensions of the astral, of the mental, of the causal, right? The causal means cause and effect. That is above the mental and the astral. Uh, those all of those things, those deep things within us, trickle down into this world of the manifested world. So this physical life is the manifested world. Behind this veil of illusion, behind this manifested world, is the world of the unmanifested. And when we start to put our consciousness in the unmanifested, that's when we that's when we're able to change our life, because we're starting to work with the unmanifested world, and we start to change certain things, start to realize certain things. And so we change the course of the manifestation here and now. For example, maybe we start to understand that we are attached to a certain toxic relationship with let's say someone who is abusing us, to give an extreme example. We have to be in those moments of being a victim of an abuser in any kind of form. We have to be conscious of our astral emotions, right? Our attachments to that. We have to be conscious of the way we think about that situation, and we have to be conscious of the way we our cause and effect, which is related to the will, our willpower. So we have to ask ourselves, what am I really doing? Why am I always going back to the same house? Why am I not telling anyone about this? Right? And those, when you meditate on that, you'll start to get certain revelations, certain understanding about your attachments. A lot of people don't want to, admit why they're attached to a certain abuser. That goes very deep into, dark and deep psychology. But anyway, the point is, when you start to get in touch with those deeper parts of yourself, you're changing the course of your reality. So, as above, so below, right? As within, it's just the same. As within, so without. Change your internal reality, change your internal world and understanding, and you will change without, right? You will change your external reality. It's just the same. As within, so without. As above, so below. It's just a matter of perspective. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. Clean your room and change your life, which is very true. Have a dirty room, and that one thing can lead to another, and you're in a rut. Your parents or your family comes in and starts to question you, like, why do you have a dirty room? And then you get offended, and then one thing leads to another, and you're in divorce. So it's good to have this conscience about what we're supposed to do in life. uh so it's a dangerous path, right? Because you know maybe one day you forgot to tell you, your wife leaves for work, and you forget to tell her you love her, and maybe she gets offended, and then she starts an argument. You get offended. One thing leads to another, and you get so angry with each other, and you get divorced, and your whole life changes. You lose all your money in court. You lose your kids. So that's why it's important to be in touch with these deeper parts of ourself and be present from moment to moment, because uh that's why it says in the Bible, Jesus says, be alert, be watchful, because the enemy can always come. The enemy is the the legion of psychological aggregates, the legion, as they say in Buddhism, aggregates, or the legion of demons, to talk about it in Christian terms. So that's why he says, be watchful always, like a lantern who's always, or like a lighthouse who's always watching. Because if we don't watch, then things just come in through the back door and possess us and makes our life a living hell, literally. Yeah, exactly. How can we change the world if we can't even keep our room clean?